In a video, a beautiful flight attendant is seen crying after being verbally abused by a passenger. Despite her tears, she continues to serve the passenger with utmost professionalism, squatting beside them. The video shows the flight attendant sitting in her seat, quietly crying to herself. The person who posted the video mentioned that the flight attendant was troubled by several passengers, swallowing all her grievances and hiding away to cry. And here's another video where the commentator says,
"The plane is about to take off, and the flight attendant sitting opposite suddenly starts crying. Even though the lights are dim, I can see clearly. Every job is tough."
In another instance, a flight attendant sits on the floor in distress, crying over being grounded due to a passenger's complaint. 20 years ago, Chinese flight attendants were referred to as fairies, a profession envied and coveted by many. Today, it has become one of the professions with the highest resignation rate in China, and not just because of the pandemic. Recently, an article titled, "The Current State of Chinese Flight Attendants, Increasing Chaos in the Industry, Decreasing Income," was widely shared by Chinese media. The article starts with, "The base salary is between 3,500 and 4,000 yuan, with an hourly rate of 75 yuan, 138 yuan for chief attendants. Overnight fees are 150 yuan. A flight attendant who resigned after 4 years said, "Post-pandemic, the income is too low, roughly just over 3,000 yuan a month, which is even lower than a cleaning job that can earn 4,000 to 5,000 a month. Many flight attendants have had to take up part-time jobs, such as modeling or online selling. For example, a Southern Airlines flight attendant was advertising lingerie in the bathroom." In the eyes of the Chinese, being a flight attendant has always been synonymous with glamour and high salary. They can wear exquisite uniforms, apply beautiful makeup, and their jobs seem easy, handing out towels, snacks, meal boxes, and water to passengers, followed by free world tours. There's even a chance of encountering a wealthy and handsome VIP passenger who falls in love at first sight, leading to a Cinderella marrying a prince fairy tale romance. However, the reality is harsh. As Vicky, a former flight attendant, posted, "Which flight attendant hasn't cried a few times on the plane?" After working as a flight attendant for several years, Becky, a Chinese flight attendant, gained insights into the characteristics of different flight routes in China and developed a deeper understanding of the industry. Becky mentioned that flights departing from Shanghai are mostly business travelers, who are often silver, gold, or platinum card members. Flight attendants generally dislike routes taking off from Shanghai. Not only is the physical workload exhausting, but the emotional toll is heavier as well, since even slight lapses in service can lead to passenger dissatisfaction and complaints, which is one of the flight attendants' greatest fears. What do flight attendants fear the most? That would definitely be complaints. A complaint from a platinum card holder can demote you from chief attendant to a regular flight attendant. A VIP complaint might result in a review meeting or, in severe cases, a deduction from performance bonuses, with penalties starting at a minimum of 1,000 yuan. Becky prefers flying to smaller cities where the passengers are often elderly travel groups, wearing uniform red hats affectionately referred to as Little Red Riding Hoods by the crew. These seniors find everything novel and exciting, bustling in the aisle for photos before even finding their seats. At such times, Becky gently reminds them, "Grandma, please let others pass first, and then you can take your photos." Once the flight is airborne, the excitement can lead to a noisy cabin, requiring Becky to remind them to keep their voices down, though the buzz often resumes shortly after. Becky's takeaway from serving the Little Red Riding Hoods is that they need to be cajoled like children, or more accurately, just serve meals and drinks timely. Such flights have no complaints or dissatisfaction ratings. Despite physical exhaustion, the crew feels mentally relaxed on these routes. In another fortunate incident, a flight attendant accidentally spilled orange juice on a deaf-mute female passenger while serving meals. The attendant quickly wrote an apology on paper, to which the kind-hearted passenger gestured, "I'm okay." Unexpectedly, the chief attendant scolded the flight attendant, causing her to cry. The female passenger immediately defended her, saying, "Don't scold her, don't misunderstand her." The flight attendant, wiping away tears, then took a photo with the passenger as a keepsake. However, not all passengers are this understanding. Consider this male flight attendant who encountered a passenger acting like an ancient Chinese empress. This passenger, after boarding, claimed she was in a post-operative recovery phase and could not sit, demanding a back row seat to lie down. The staff, concerned for her health, decided to terminate her journey for safety. However, the woman refused to disembark, causing a disturbance from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., eventually demanding the flight attendant to carry her off the plane. She shouted at the male attendant, "You said my condition is severe. Carry me off the plane." Another male passenger intervened, shouting,
"I'll kick you off."
Another passenger protested,
"Don't carry her, don't carry her."
Eventually, a flight attendant did carry her, but had to put her down shortly after, possibly due to exhaustion or fear of accidentally harming the elderly woman, who continued to berate them for lacking humanity. This incident prompted a passenger to lament, "This is too much. Those bad people have grown old. Do you understand?" The phrase, "bad people grow old," has become a popular internet saying in China, meaning, it's not that old people turn bad, but that bad people have grown old. This refers to those who grew up in the 1950s and 60s, who are now in their 60s and 70s. These individuals played a key role in the Red Guards, a group known for its unruly behavior during a tumultuous era in Chinese history following the Chinese Communist Party's rise to power. In recent years, the internet has highlighted numerous instances of misconduct among the elderly in China. For instance, there are elderly individuals who, upon missing their bus stop, command the driver to stop immediately in places where stopping is not permitted, or even demand the bus to turn around and to return to the previous stop for them to alight. Non-compliance from the driver can lead to attempts to forcibly take control of the steering wheel. Then, there are the ladies who blare their music through loudspeakers and energetically participate in square dancing, reacting defensively when complaints are lodged against them. Worse still, there have been cases where seniors have fallen, and well-intentioned bystanders who help them up are falsely accused of causing the fall, leading to demands for compensation. On the morning of November 16, 2013, a netizen and a female colleague were going to work by bus when an elderly person who boarded demanded their seats. Feeling violated, the girl did not give up her seat, which led the elder to curse and physically sit on her. The netizen's post about the incident received over 3,000 comments, with the most widespread reaction being, "It's not that the elderly have turned bad, but that bad people have grown old." Thus, it is not uncommon to see Chinese tourists in the United States or Europe where children are continuously reminding their grandparents to use pedestrian crossings, speak softly, and not waste food at buffets. Reminders that, logically, should be the other way around. This might shed some light on why that particular elderly lady, instead of thanking a flight attendant who carried her, berated him for lacking humanity. Beyond humiliation and difficult working conditions, flight attendants in China may even face threats. On August 31, 2021, a middle-aged man flying first class with Long Airlines from Hangzhou to Beijing berated a flight attendant attempting to assist with his luggage, claiming she was dirty from daily contact with numerous people and demanding she not touch his suitcase. The flight attendant promptly apologized. Later, when asking passengers for their choice of beverage before takeoff, the man loudly instructed her not to approach and stated that the best service she could offer was silence and no service. A female passenger, also in first class, confronted the man over his behavior but was threatened by his companion. Upon arrival at Beijing Airport with intimidation, the man ordered his companions on the shuttle bus to find out who she, the flight attendant, is. Netizens speculated that the man in first class might be a lower-level government official or a wealthy business owner. In China, a ruthless social hierarchy prevails. Crossing paths unfavorably with officials or affluent individuals can provoke reprisals so effortless, netizens liken it to crushing an ant. Aside from low income, in the words of a former flight attendant, the job of a flight attendant is essentially glamorous on the surface. Aside from serving meals and cleaning the lavatories, we're also the customer's venting outlet. In recent years, the once prestigious profession of flight attendants in China has lost its allure. Many have had to change careers, moving into car sales, live streaming as product presenters, or selling goods on flights. One flight attendant, from boarding to landing, was constantly promoting various types of face masks. hydrating, moisturizing, hyaluronic acid solutions. Netizens commented, selling face masks has reached new heights. Consider another flight attendant who was selling airplane models. This flight attendant was somewhat luckier, as the netizen who posted said, "Seeing the flight attendant struggling to sell airplane models with no buyers, I felt it was tough for them and decided to purchase one in support. It's not easy for them." However, not all flight attendants are as fortunate. Surveys indicate that over half of the passengers are not receptive to flight attendants selling products on board. On April 5, 2023, Ms. Wang took a Beijing Capital Airlines flight from Tianjin to Lijiang, Yunnan for a vacation. She encountered flight attendants loudly selling products, including airplane models, cosmetics, sunglasses, and scarves, for about 40 minutes. She commented, "I thought I had traveled back in time to a green train. It was an unpleasant flying experience." After disembarking, Ms. Wang called Beijing Capital Airlines customer service to lodge a complaint. The airline's customer service stated that it is not standard practice to sell products on flights. However, on her return flight from Lijiang to Tianjin on April 9th, Ms. Wang once again faced flight attendants selling products. Ms. Wang complained to the flight attendants that their sales pitches were disturbing passengers' rest. The flight attendants, expressing helplessness, mentioned that selling products was part of the company's procedure. Eventually, the sales pitch was shortened to about 20 minutes. These flight attendants were still relatively fortunate compared to a Southern Airlines flight attendant who became the center of controversy for taking a lingerie advertisement selfie on a plane. On October 12, 2019, a Southern Airlines flight attendant, Ms. Guo, took advantage of a flight delay due to air traffic control to try on lingerie gifted by a friend and took a selfie for posting on her social media WeChat with promotional content. Although she deleted the post within 10 minutes, many had seen and shared it, and a colleague reported her. A month and a half later, Southern Airlines terminated her employment contract, citing the inappropriate photo taken during work hours that violated company policies and public morals. Ms. Guo disputed the termination, arguing she posted the selfie during a break intending to promote her friend's lingerie and deleted it promptly without causing any harm. She demanded compensation. The court initially ordered the company to compensate Ms. Guo. However, Southern Airlines appealed the decision, and the appellate court, recognizing Ms. Guo's 15 years of service as a senior flight attendant representing the airline's image, overturned the initial ruling and rejected her claims. Public opinion is divided, with some arguing that taking lingerie advertisements is inappropriate for a flight attendant, while others empathize with the economic pressures in China, where many have side businesses. This flight attendant was simply trying to earn extra money without affecting her work. Regardless of public sentiment, the high resignation rate among Chinese flight attendants is an indisputable reality. Over the last 5 years, the aviation industry has become a sector with significant personnel turnover in China, not solely due to the pandemic. Flight attendant is among the professions with the highest attrition rates. According to data released in April 2022 by China's 3 major airlines, a total of 4,147 employees resigned in 2021, leaving the civil aviation industry entirely. Compared to 2020, Southern Airlines saw 2,333 resignations, Air China 978, and China Eastern Airlines 836, with reports indicating Southern Airlines had the highest number of departures among state-owned carriers, followed by Air China, with China Eastern having the least. Regarding the profession of flight attendants alone, the outlook for personnel is not optimistic. Reports indicate that from 2019, the number of flight attendants and other cabin crew members at China Eastern Airlines decreased from 21,673 to 20,518, a reduction of 1,155 people. Southern Airlines saw a reduction of 1,930 crew members, including part-time safety officers, compared to 2019. The status of Chinese flight attendants has fallen from their once revered fairy status. not only due to the pandemic, but also due to increasingly demanding passengers, unreasonable company policies, and an unfair hierarchical system among cabin crew members. Consider this short video published on January 24, 2024. Do flight attendants ever feel belittled? They face such issues on almost all trips, as recounted by many. Firstly, when boarding, you're always the last to board and sit in the last row. However, when deboarding for the crew bus, you must be considerate and be the first to disembark because you need to help your seniors with their luggage, such as the captains, chief attendants, and those senior to you. Furthermore, there are those unspoken Chinese-specific rules familiar to Chinese people but possibly unheard of by foreigners. In 2022, an audio recording of a meeting held by an airline senior official was leaked onto social media. The official told all pilots, especially the younger co-pilots, "If you fancy any flight attendant, let me know. I'll arrange overnight flights for you, creating opportunities." Moreover, the whistleblower revealed that such practices are widespread in China, with sexual harassment by flight department leaders toward flight attendants being even more frightening than bullying by cabin leaders. Flight attendants reported being treated not as women but as playthings. In April 2021, China Eastern Airlines was embroiled in a sex for favors scandal, with online posts alleging that a flight attendant with the surname Ni was arranged by her superiors to seduce higher-level officials. Following the uproar, China Eastern Airlines denied the allegations, stating that it was a rumor and that the staff had reported the matter to the police. However, those familiar with China's situation know that matters the authorities label as rumors are often true. Many Chinese believe that the authorities' so-called rumors are often just a precursor to the truth. In fact, China Eastern Airlines did not immediately report the decision of the handling of the incident, but opted for public relations tactics, threatening the whistleblower to delete the post. A source told Radio Free Asia that the flight attendant involved, Miss Ni of China Eastern Airlines Cabin Division 6 and the party branch secretary, was instigated by a senior executive surnamed Tian from the Jiangsu branch to offer herself to another high-ranking executive surnamed Chiu. Power for sex deals have always been present in the CCP's officialdom, but what gets exposed is just the tip of the iceberg. Thus, when you see a 26-year-old flight attendant with a joyful smile deciding to resign and return to her rural home to raise chickens, it would appear this beautiful lady prefers to laugh on the ground rather than cry in the air.